Good evening. It is July 12th, 2016. This is the July 2016 shop tour. I'm not standing immediately adjacent to the door as I usually do, but we'll still start in the same corner. For anyone who's tuned in before, there's the pile of crap. Some of that stuff needs to go down in the basement, some needs to go in the attic, and back in the back you can see the concrete step I have yet to cut out. Nothing has changed there. Here's the bandsaw, which is still broken. The culprit seems to be that beast hanging off the back, but since it broke, I have not invested enough time to actually figure out exactly what's wrong with it. I need to do that sooner than later. There is my oscillating spindle drum sander that normally lives in the attic, and I frequently take it down to use it because I use it fairly often, but I don't use it as often as I should because it's in the attic, not in the shop. You can see it doesn't have a real home. When I set it up, I usually have to set it up out in the driveway on my bench or on the table saw. But what has just dawned on me, is that it is going to live back here on some sort of a cart, and that's going to hopefully motivate me to chop out that step and finish the bit of flooring right here that I've not done. So for now it's there. Here on the table saw, you see I've just set up everything but my laptop ready to record tonight. We're going to record episode 99 of the Modern Woodworkers Association podcast tonight. You can see some scraps back there. These are all scraps of decent grade plywood, and ultimately I think I'm going to hopefully use these scraps to make a retracting boom arm for my mic, but that's a ways off. That case right there is where I keep all my podcasting paraphernalia in. Keeps it in one little case. Since I have to break down and set up quite frequently, it makes it manageable at least. Not all that much going on. I'm sure that case was still sitting there filled with stuff last time. Nothing's new in there. That's the owner's manual for my mom. Jesus. That's the owner's manual for a bike. Here's what I really got going on. It's the only project... no, it's not the only project. I'll show you in a second what the other stuff is. But this is going to be a headphone rack. And this is flat. This piece is just screwed to it so I can clamp it. But this is ultimately going to mount against a wall. And see, it just gently flares up a little bit. If you look at it from the top, you see it flares out a little bit. And the headphones rest here. And it's really just an experiment in shaping. I don't know if this quite captures how rounded it is. There's no sanding yet. This is right off grinders and my Fordham, you see over there, and rasps. And this is the shape. And I don't know. I was not terribly happy with it. It was still too square for me. So I decided, I was thinking about the chat we had on the podcast a few episodes ago with a delightful gentleman from New Jersey whose name escapes me. He makes sculpted furniture, and he was talking about how sometimes they'll be almost done with a piece and they'll realize it kind of needs more negative space, and they'll put little black things on it and say, yeah, okay, and then they take a piece that's almost done and cut holes in it, not sure if it's going to really work. But what I realized is that this needed a hole. And I think I'm going to take this hole and flare it to the side, and this will be two separate things coming up, like almost like horns. But I'm not sure yet. But so far what I've done is I've drilled out these two holes, and this magic marker line here is what I intended to flare it to, at least, maybe round it over some more. I want it to be more elegant. It's kind of blocky now. So I have some more shaping to do. But again, this was basically just an experiment in shaping and to see what kind of came out of it. So it is what it is, and it's a project of love. I think I may make some headphone stands once I get a more straightforward design worked out. But this is what I got so far, and I continue to play with it. You can see my crappy saws there, and some rasps and files. There's my Fordham. Here's more rasps. This is the other product that's in the shop. These are door saddles. Not terribly complicated. I had to recess them. I had to make the bevels. Of course, neither cut is square, but, you know, still, nothing terribly hard there. Made in a couple hours. And then sanded, and now they have 6 or 7 coats of spray-on poly on them now. So these are just about ready to be installed at my father-in-law's. So, Jim, Merry Christmas 2015. And that's about it in the shop. I mean, my saw, my dust collection, my planer, it's all, nothing's really changed with this stuff. Just trying to keep busy and keep things heading out of the shop. So, I'm not sure why, but I was intrigued by the gearbox of the planer. Let's just circle around. There's the shop. And that's where we are in July of 2016. Stay safe in your